Hey guys, Captain Chairbus here, and in this video I want to go over my top 5 must-have features for MSFS 2024. These are features that if they're not in the new sim, I'm going to be super bummed out and disappointed. But before we start, I want to know if you guys have any must-have features. So let me know in the comments below, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified when I make these types of videos. Okay, let's get into it. Number 5, Control Bindings Transfer Tool. I want all of my controls to be automatically transferred from MSFS 2020 over to MSFS 2024 on day 1. There's nothing worse than installing a new sim and having to rebind all your controllers and keys and buttons over to the new sim. I want to be able to fire that new sim up on day 1 and have all of my controls and keybinds transferred over automatically. Theoretically, this should be possible since the controls are stored in the cloud by Microsoft, but you can never tell with these guys. So my number 5 feature is to have all my controls transferred over via a control binding transfer feature. Number 4, flyby view. This one's pretty self-explanatory. How the developers still haven't added this into MSFS 2020 is absolutely beyond me, but we need a proper flyby view in MSFS 2024 so we can get cool cinematic shot while we fly and watch our planes fly by us in the air or taxi by us on the ground, because it looks awesome, and part of the fun of flight simming is getting to see your aircraft from the outside, which you can't actually do in the real world. Give us our flyby views, and also some tower views are also welcome. Number 3, aircraft-specific key bindings and joystick peripheral assignments. Right now, in MSFS 2020, if you want to switch airplanes and you have a different controller profile you want to use, you have to manually switch your assignments for all your peripherals. So let's say you're in a Boeing 737 and you want to switch to the Phoenix A320. You have to go to your control settings and manually switch all of your controls over to your Airbus profiles. How ASUS didn't anticipate us ever wanting to assign control profiles to a specific aircraft is truly remarkable. Right now, there's a payware program that can do this, but it's a bit clunky and sometimes doesn't work that well. The ability to assign control profiles to a specific plane should be natively supported, so please give us aircraft-specific control bindings. Number 2, more than 10 custom camera views. Again, this one is pretty self-explanatory. I want to have the ability to bind more than 10 custom camera views to the buttons on my keyboard and joystick. I like moving around the cabin and cockpit using various bindings on my keyboard and joystick, and 10 views is way too few to be able to experience all the great views you can set up around the plane. In a developer stream done several years ago, when asked why they limited custom views to 10, Sebastian from ASUS said something along the lines that if we let the user move around the plane too much, it'll put too much of a burden or a strain on the game and can cause instability and crashes. While I understand that quickly changing views and panning around can cause stutters, ASUS has developed new technologies like terrain pre-caching to limit the rendering needed while moving around the plane and changing views. So at this point, there's really no reason at all to limit custom views to just 10 views. The other ridiculous thing about this feature is that it doesn't require ASUS to create a new feature or undertake some huge development project. The ability to bind a view to a key or combination of keys already exists in the sim, so just let us have more than 10. Consider giving us 20 or even letting us have 30 custom views. Either way, it requires no extra development from the team at ASUS, and it's sorely needed since ASUS has closed off the camera API from the developers like Parallel 42 to make a custom camera add-on like Chaseplane. Number 1, replay. The sorry excuse of a replay system they put into MSFS 2020 does not count. It's clunky, it's difficult to use, and it gets in the way if you're making actual content and forces you to take extra steps to make sure it's recording, and that is not a replay system. MSFS 2024 better have a replay system like X-Plane has, where it's always recording in the background and captures many, if not all, the sim events like spoilers deploying, reversers, sounds, and other effects. If you're like me and you enjoy watching your butter landing a few hundred times, a real replay tool is essential. The best replay tools on the market are actually freeware and run outside of the sim, which is just another program that we have to have running on top of all the other programs that we need to fly. MSFS 2024 must have a simple, easy, native replay tool. End of story. Microsoft and ASUS, give us a real replay system. So those are my top 5 features. I have a few others that didn't quite make the cut, but what I really want to know is what are your must-haves for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? Put it in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.